I'm going to talk about rise in global temperature, and the cause is mostly the use of fossil fuels, namely petroleum products and coal. The Earth's temperatures are rising. The ice on the poles have melted. In fact, I was surprised when I saw a video, the North Pole, that now is just some few flakes of ice that are mobile. Other time it was just ice everywhere. The polar bears are getting problems. There's a great change in the temperature, and different countries have been holding meetings to try and deal with this crisis. Uh, there's been talk of introducing uh, energy that is nature friendly, but mostly it has been short circuited by countries that have interests, economic interest in the use of fossil fuels. For instance, the major countries, which are the major pollutants, own the oil companies. Those countries are still the countries that have manufactured internal combustion engines that use petroleum. So they find it a problem because it will interfere with their economies. But the question we should ask ourselves is, if the temperatures reach a place where they cannot be reversed, what will happen? Will it happen to only the people in the countries that don't have those products and those companies, or will it happen to everybody? Because now it has become a world crisis, the sea levels are rising. So some countries have become innovative. People have gone hydro, using hydroelectricity. Others have decided to use solar. There is a decrease in the pricing, and there is a large increase in manufacturing of solar panels. Some countries have opted to use wind in generating electricity, and some are even using waves from the ocean. This one is good. Also, the electrical cars that have been introduced, electrical machines that are not using much fuel, that one is helping in alleviating that problem. While that is still happening, I've always been thinking, if we can be able to get rid of our grid, because we are now talking of carbon credits to countries that have got a lot of forests. It is those same forests that are unable to sustain that change that we are banking our money on, expecting miracles to happen. Miracles won't happen. So I was thinking that if we can be able to get rid of the grid we have, there are certain things we can be able to do. And have an idea, a simple solution. There is nothing as plentiful as hydrogen that can be used as fuel. There are vehicles that have been tested and using gas fuel, and they can be able to run on hydrogen. I have this idea. If we could seriously get our heads together, countries that are doing that be able to convert their economy into making plastics, and they can be able to use that in plastics and such, like using petroleum in carbon-related industries, which can be used to make hard products that can be able to be used instead of trees and all those things. Then we be friendly to each other, decide that we shall use water as a fuel. It's simply hydrolysis, produce generators that can be able to use hydrogen, and there we are. So my suggestion is, why don't we go the water way? You can use water that has been used, purified from, what do you call them, sewages, because some countries purify water until they are able to use that water for irrigation or for drinking. But for instance, if we decide to use that water, it's just the water that we use. If we still go back to the rain cycle, so we don't have to use much, you just do hydrolysis in whatever place you are. Places where you cannot have hydroelectricity or those kinds of electricity, we have hydrogen generators producing electricity. You can have them also producing electricity to charge the electrical cars. And the byproduct, oxygen, can be used in hospitals. And also some can be released into the atmosphere to make that balance. The water vapor formed will form clouds, because now when there is an increased volume in water vapor, then there will be a lot of cloud formation. And we know clouds help by deflecting sun rays. So the temperatures will become a bit cooler. There'll be more and more rain. And this one will make fuel cheaper. In fact, the fuel we use, because the earth is a water world, we shall be using water, do electrolysis, get hydrogen, burn the water, the hydrogen which will become water vapor. The water vapor falls back as rain. And my idea was, because it's just the engine, if the cars that are being made, people can do an overhaul so that they have hydrogen engines, because there are prototypes that have been tested and they are working. And then people can also enter into manufacturing of gas generators, hydrogen generators. We can have power stations within towns. It will be cheaper for every country. It will create a lot of employment, and it will be friendly to the environment. I think that is my input to the solution of the crisis we have of temperatures rising, fossil fuel. Petroleum products, you can generate them into plastics, and all these are carbon industries where you use carbon fibers to generate different things. I think that's my input. Thank you.